Hello again. We're going to go ahead and do something a little bit different. We're going to be using the Urban Decay Let's Go Crazy Prints palette. We all know this one. It's a favorite. It's a new favorite that came out recently. And this time there have been a lot of intense looks that I've seen done with this one. I'd like to go on the opposite side of the spectrum and do something that's a little more light pastel, because we have a lot of dark colors in this palette, and I think you'll see how versatile it can be when we do something a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and start with When Doves Cry. Now, if we're doing this on a darker skin tone, I might blend this with a darker color just to make sure that it matches with your brow bone section. Otherwise, it will be really intense. We're going for kind of a 90s brow bone look with that really, really bright white up top here. This would be really nicely blended with another Urban Decay color called Breakaway. You can find that one on their Born to Run palette, and I'll show that one here to you in just a minute after I finish applying this. If you do like that kind of mid to early 90s really sparkly upper brow line, this is a great, great look. We can all get our inner 90s girl on, and it's fantastic. So we're going to start with this one. Pardon me. And then I'll show you here. I'll swatch these colors as I'm doing them just so that we can start to see. So this is When Doves Cry from the Let's Go Crazy Prints palette. And there's our swatch. Just really light, bright color. Kind of hard to see unless you have a primer on, which I do. I have the Urban Decay Primer Potion on in Sin. That's my standard go-to. And I'll show you the other colors that I would put under this if I wanted a more mellow backing. So Breakaway here, this is the Born to Run palette. If I wanted something a little more mellow underneath, I could use Breakaway. It's more of a cream white. I could also use Blaze for more of a gold tone. And I could use Riff if I have more yellow tones in my skin. If I wanted something for a much darker skin tone, I could use Good Is Gone or Punk to really bring out the brown tones in one's skin. It's really important that if you have any warm tones or blue tones in your skin, that you match the brow bone foundation if you're going to layer with the tones in the color you choose. Because if you're choosing red and pink tones and you don't have those in your skin, it will clash and it will cause a problem, okay? Moving on, we're going to go ahead and do our lid first and then our crease, because that tells us where we need to put the color and it will layer more evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and use Alphabet Street. I love this color because it's so beautiful and peachy, and it's a lovely, lovely spring and summer color. I'll show it here. There's Alphabet Street right above Raspberry Beret. And I like this one because it's got orangey tones in it. So if you've got any warm tones in your skin, pinks or yellows, this will really help to bring those out. It's also great if you're going to use any gold toned bronzers. This will really pull on those and accentuate those. Okay, I will swatch this after I have it on my eyes. And you'll see too, with the liner that I'm going to use a dual toned liner today, that this will really blend well with that dual toned liner that I'm planning to do today. Very good, even color on both. And then for something just a little bit different, I'm doing it backwards from what I would normally do, because this is a color that I would put up top here and I would accentuate here, but I wanted to do something just slightly on the reversal of what people might normally do, because this palette can give you lots of options. You just have to think about it in a different way. So I'm going to take D.M.S.R, this little shimmery shadow on the bottom right here, and I'm going to take that and put that in my crease. Now normally we would think to put shimmery shadows in our lid or in our illumination spot right here by our tear duct, but I like doing unconventional things, and that's what Urban Decay is all about. We're using our originality to find our inner beauty, and this, especially when the light hits it, will help give you a nice reflective spot on your eye, and it'll really help Alphabet Street pop. So we're using our color psychology to help us with this makeup look. So on our crease, and this is a great trick for hooded eyes. If you put a little bit of sparkle there above your brighter color, that will help give you a nice full eye look without having to line your waterline. That's one of those things I learned early on. Now, those are all done. I will swatch these for you so that you can see them. D.M.S.R is kind of a hard color to see when swatched, so if you're going to swatch it, just make sure that you give it a nice heavy color, because it's really, really light. But this pigment is just beautiful, especially when it's layered with other colors, because it helps pick up on their tones. And then Alphabet Street on top. So you'll see we have, and I'll turn it so you can see, we have Windows Cry on the bottom, we have D.M.S.R in the middle, and then we have Alphabet Street on top. Okay? Then next, I'm going to go ahead and do my liner. Now I'm going to do it in 2 steps because I'm going to do a dual liner today. And now this can be a little bit difficult when you're using liquid liner, so I would suggest that you do it as quickly as you can with that base liner. Let it dry just a little bit, even fanning it can help, and that way when you go to apply your second line, it will help quite a lot to make sure that you have a dry line. So again, from the inner corner, this is Urban Decay Waterproof in Perversion. Here we are. Inner corner to outer corner. And our traditional cat eye flick. I'm going to go a little bit longer for what I'm planning today. Same on the other side. Never from the outer corner, because once we do that, we get wrinkles in our liner, and that is absolutely not what we want. Again, from the brow bone, making sure that we're even, and flick. When we start from that brow bone as our marker point, that will help us make sure that we get an even cat eye, and then we come and fill. Very good. Okay, now we're going to do a line on top. This one dries rather fast, which I love, especially because I like layering liners. Now I don't show these very often because they are a bit of a challenge, and so you have to practice these. I like practicing them on my hand, so I'll show you how to practice, and that way you can get better at those. So if we line on the hand first, liquid liner is all about practicing your line consistency. When I start from the tip and I push, that will give me a nice strong line. If I just drag with the tip, it gives me a nice thin line. You see the difference? So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my very, very razor sharp water resistant Longwear liquid liner, and this guy is in Snakebite. Now I like this one because it's kind of a brownish gold, and it really helps if you have any yellow tones in your skin to really pick up on those. I'm going to line right underneath just so we can see. Now we've got a little dab here, but I want you to be able to see that kind of bronzy gold color. And you can see how it changes when it's in the light. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that on top of this black line, and then we're going to fill just a little bit on top of that wing to help us bring out some of that orange in Alphabet Street. Now with liquid liner like this, especially when it's not in a pen, you've got to be very careful, so clean your brush and you want to have it only on the top. So you'll want to do this not right directly on top, but just above where your other line is. That way you can see your other liner, but it does give you a thicker look and help accentuate some of what you're doing. Again, clean your brush, start with the top, from the inner corner to the outer corner, just gently right above where you're going. And take this right above where we went. And that way, it's just that extra little touch of attention that when we get it in the right light, there it is, you see it? You get that extra little shimmer, and you see how it brings out that extra orange in Alphabet Street? Beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and use our Perversion mascara in waterproof. Waterproof is my go-to, especially when you have a child and you work in a kitchen, or you're going outside during the summer. Water is everywhere. So having waterproof mascara is an absolutely wonderful, wonderful gift. And push and wiggle as before, all the way to the tips of those lashes. And we are all set. Now, you can always do this a little more intensely if you wanted to, say, do more of a dark orange, which I can show you later. You could always borrow from the Born to Run palette because we have lots of beautiful oranges and gold tones in here. You could layer with Stranded and make Alphabet Street really pop on the bottom. You could layer with Accelerate, and that would give you kind of a nice goldish bronze. And then Ignite is a really great one if you wanted to put just a little bit in the center of your eye here for a shimmer. That would give you a great pop, especially if you're using an orangey bronzer. That would be most excellent, as my daughter would say. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and have a great rest of your day.